Ladies and gentlemen, our motion today is this House will criminalize individuals or organizations who do not recycle. So before that, I will definition this motion in two keywords. Firstly is criminalize. Criminalize or criminalization in criminology is a process when certain behavior or action or individual is made a crime or criminal, ladies and gentlemen. And secondly is recycling. What is recycling, ladies and gentlemen? Recycling is a process to return a waste or materials that are not useful again. This can be done by utilizing that all materials or only certain materials that will be reprocessed, ladies and gentlemen. I will explain the background of this motion today. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that our country is the most beautiful country in the world. Our country that is crowned as the most beautiful country in the world by the international community, because our country have a good natural, like the mountains, like the volcanoes, like the coral reefs with marine, and then the rainforest and glaciers. But there are a big thing or a big problem in this country or the all country, ladies and gentlemen, that is waste. But in addition to the beauty of the Indonesian state, there are many problems. One of which the problem is waste that never stop being discussed, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, this House will criminalize individuals or organizations who do not recycle. Disposal of garbage that is not handled properly will cause a big problems, ladies and gentlemen, to our society or our country, because the accumulation of garbage or throwing it carelessly into open areas result in a soil pollution, which will also have an impact for the society, ladies and gentlemen. Like waste, burning garbage or the waste will cause air pollution. Dumping garbage into rivers will result in water pollution, and it can make animals or something in the rivers can die, ladies and gentlemen. Clogged drains and flooding. Many big countries in all the world do incineration or burning the waste, which is an alternative in waste disposal. As we know, ladies and gentlemen, that burning waste is not effective in dealing with waste, because it can cause air pollution everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The problem of waste disposal by recycling all the discarded waste waste back to the community economy or to nature. For example, reduce the waste of a household. It can make compost, and it can useful to nature and to plants, ladies and gentlemen. To achieve this, there are three assumptions in waste management that must be replaced with the three new principles or policy. Instead of assuming the society will produce an ever-increasing amount of waste minimization should be a top of priority, ladies and gentlemen. Disposal waste must be segregated so that each part can be composed or recycled optimally, ladies and gentlemen, rather than being dumped or burned into the mixed waste disposal system as it exists today, ladies and gentlemen. And industries must redesign or design their product that want to sell it to facilitate the recycling process, ladies and gentlemen, of these products. This principle applies to all types and flows of waste, ladies and gentlemen. So, move to my first argument why I agree with our motion today that this House will criminalize individuals or organizations who do not recycle. Because the first is, If they don't recycle waste, or they choose a burning method, then of course it will cause air pollution, right, ladies and gentlemen? Secondly, is waste must be recycled again to return into the community's economies, or return to nature back, ladies and gentlemen. Like garbage, it must recycled into a quality materials such as a craft that have a selling value, or goods for everyday life, ladies and gentlemen, that can be useful in our activities in everyday or in a day, ladies and gentlemen. Another example is kitchen waste or household waste that can be recycled into compost, as I explained before, which of course will be beneficial for plants or the nature, ladies and gentlemen. Thirdly, it can reduce waste disposal indiscriminately because the waste is not disposed of but is recycled again. In new UN rules governing the trade in hazardous waste, which fall under the Basel Convention, came into effect in January 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Countries that are signatories to the convention can now only trade in plastic waste if it meets certain low contamination criteria, meaning it's waste is clean, is sorted, and easy to recycle again, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I, as the Prime Minister from the affirmative team, I emphasize that I agree with our motion today that criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. Because what I explained before, that recycle waste will return it to a selling value, such as recycling waste into items of sell value, or waste such as a household waste being recycled and turning into a compost that useful in plants or nature, ladies and gentlemen. It can be a organic fertilizer or compost that useful for plants and nature. Ladies and gentlemen, secondly, waste is better to recycle it again instead of burning, because burning it can cause air pollution to our nature, ladies and gentlemen, and it's also give a negative impact to the to the society, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I, as the Prime Minister from the affirmative team, I emphasize that I agree with our motion today. This House will criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. So I, as the Prime Minister from the affirmative team, we proud to propose.